Mummy. Welcome to Durbania, I'm Durbin, and this is my theological analysis of The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser, getting pumped up for the Tom Cruise 2017 version, yeah! Actually, I don't know if that's going to be good or not. I think either way, it's going to at least be a fun popcorn movie, but I guess we'll find out. I am kind of anxious to see what they're going to do with this monsterverse. Anyway, so went back to the 1999 The Mummy, and I remember liking it when I first saw it, but when I was watching it for this video here, it felt like a really long movie. Not a bad movie, it just felt a little long, but it was still fun to go back and watch that, kind of just like a staple of my growing up. Anyway, in watching this movie, I couldn't help but note this big, huge plot line where you have Evie, our main lady in this movie, and she doesn't believe in any of this supernatural stuff surrounding this pyramid that they're digging up, surrounding this whole area, this whole mysterious thing that they finally found. She's so excited to have found it. Like, she doesn't believe in the supernatural side of it.
Are you sure you want to be playing around with this thing?
It's just a book. No harm ever came from reading a book.
That happens a lot around here.
She says it's just a book, and then she says she doesn't believe in fairy tales and hokum. I mean, she called it hokum, so she doesn't believe in the supernatural, and it seems like she doesn't even really respect it. I mean, she's calling it hokum, for crying out loud. But what they really, I think, were trying to drive in this movie is she doesn't believe in this stuff. She doesn't believe in the supernatural. Then what happens? She comes face to face with a resurrected mummy. She comes face to face with a book where you say the incantations and magical things happen. These fairy tales, this hokum, now turns out to be reality. So, in a sense, part of this movie, one of the subplots at least, is about this unbeliever. It's about this unbeliever coming to face with the things she doesn't believe in. And that is a fascinating story. And if you look at Hollywood, those stories sell. I mean, you even see it in the most recent Pirates of the Caribbean movie, Dead Men Tell No Tales. You have Karina, who is a scientist, she says. She doesn't believe in the supernatural, and then she gets confronted with the very thing she doesn't believe in. You go back and you look at Curse of the Black Pearl. Elizabeth Swann says, I don't believe in ghost stories.
You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one.
We like those kind of stories of, like, the unbeliever, somebody portrayed as the unbeliever, now facing the very thing that they said over and over again that they don't believe in. And my question is, why does that sell? Like, if you look at Western culture and Western civilization, one big component in our Western culture is believing in what we can see, believing in what can be tested, what can be observed, what can be proven in a sense. Like, that's a big part of our culture. And yet, we, in our art, because art is really what's in here, right? The thing that makes good art, the thing that makes a great painting, that makes a great song, that makes a great film, that makes a great novel, it is that stuff that we're dealing with in here. The honesty of it coming out on the page, coming out on the canvas, coming out on the screen. You know, I mean, that is what makes good art. So here, one big component of our civilization and of our culture is believing in what can be observed, believing in what can be tested, believing in what can be proven. And yet, the things that sell really well in Hollywood is the unbeliever facing what they thought was impossible, facing what couldn't be proven or observed before, and suddenly, there it is. Why do we write those stories? Why do those engross us and capture our imagination? I think because it's art, and good art comes out of here and what we really deal with. And I think, on some level, all of us deal with the question of where did we come from. On some level, all of us deal with the question, there has to be more. And that's why I think those stories and that art sells. We know there has to be more. And when I look at what the Bible has to say about that, the heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. It's very interesting how that is pointing to nature itself, just specifically the skies and the stars alone, to be like, look at that. This alone is proof there's got to be something more. You got Romans chapter 1 that talks about all of us having that inward witness. In other words, something deep inside that knows that knows there has got to be something more than what we see. I mean, if you look at my cell phone, you don't look at that and think nature made it. You would look at my cell phone and number one, you know Samsung made it because it says Samsung across the top. But number two, you would look at it, you would know it was created because it has a very specific design, purpose, and function. My eyeball is far more complicated than my phone. It's got a very specific design and function. The components of my eye, the lens, the rods, the cones, the thing that connects it to my brain, optic nerve, gosh, all of that, it all has a design, it all has a function, it all has a purpose. I mean, I'm just talking about my eye and not even my brain or my central nervous system. I mean, we look at these things and I just feel like even though a major component of our civilization, of Western culture, is believing in what can be tested, proven, and observed, I do believe there's another component that if we're honest with ourselves, that there's something inside that says there is more than what we know to this. There's more than what we can see involved in this. And me, when I look at the Bible and I see what the Bible has to say, I believe it. I believe it when it points to God as the creator that made it all, which then makes me believe that that inward witness Romans chapter 1 is talking about is God calling out to us like, come on, I made you, I love you, I'm here for you. Just look and see that I'm here. And I just feel like because there's that call inside of us, that's exactly why this kind of art and these kind of stories truly speak to us, because it affirms that call that we feel inside. And I think even that art, that storytelling that comes out about the unbeliever confronting what they didn't believe in, I think that speaks to us because inside there's that part of us that wants to confront that ourselves. There's that part of us that wants to confront what we can't see, that wants us to believe what we can't see, because there's got to be more. And I think we're right. I think there is way more. If you saw The Mummy, what did you think about this movie? Make sure to let me know in the comments. Also, are you excited for the new one with Tom Cruise? I'm kind of excited about it. At the very least, I'm morbidly curious. What did you think of this movie? Make sure to let me know in the comments. While you're there, hit that subscribe button. Next to the subscribe button is that bell. Click that bell. That way you're notified the moment I drop more videos. And make sure to check out my Wonder Woman review and things like that, and all kinds of great things coming ahead. Like next week, gonna be reviewing The Mummy. So make sure you hit that bell. That way you're notified these videos drop. Like and share this video. I'm Durbin. Thank you for checking out Durbania.